My parents had one daughter they adored, and it wasn't me. So when they skipped my housewarming because my sister needed groceries, I realized something. They never cared about my achievements. But this time, their excuse cost them everything because the whole country ended up watching what happened next. I grew up as the daughter who never got picked first. Not in school, not in family decisions, and definitely not at home. My sister Emma, on the other hand, was the sun in my parents' universe. If she sneezed, they asked whether she needed hot soup. If I fainted during sports practice, my mom rolled her eyes and said, "Stop being dramatic, Lily." By the time I turned 28, I had learned to survive without expecting anything from them. But when I bought my first home, after working 2 jobs, saving for years, skipping vacations, I let myself hope. Just a little. A house with 3 bedrooms. Backyard. A kitchen big enough to finally cook real meals. It was my dream. My achievement. And I wanted to share it with the people who were supposed to be proud of me. I invited them weeks in advance. I planned the whole event. Nothing big, just a small housewarming with friends and family. And for the first time in my life, I allowed myself to think. Maybe they'll show up. Maybe this is the moment everything changes. I should have known better. The night before the housewarming, my mom called. Her tone already told me where this was headed. "Sweetie," she said, not sounding sweet at all, "we won't be able to come tomorrow." My heart dropped. What? Why not? Well, Emma needs groceries. I blinked hard. Groceries? She's 26. She lives 10 minutes from 3 different grocery stores. But she's feeling overwhelmed, Mom replied, lowering her voice as if telling me a national secret. She's had a long week. My voice shook. Mom, I bought this house with everything I had. I just wanted you there. You know your sister has anxiety, she snapped. Why do you have to make everything about you? Everything about me. It was literally my housewarming. Dad agrees, she added. We're helping Emma tomorrow. She needs us. That was the moment something inside me cracked. Not loudly, but quietly. Like a wire snapping deep within a wall. A wire that held everything together. Okay, I whispered. Don't worry about it. She hung up without asking if I was okay. Course she did. The next day my friends arrived, cheerful and excited. But my parents' absence hung over me like a black cloud. People asked, "Where are your parents?" I laughed it off. "Oh, you know, busy. Busy buying groceries." But even though I tried pretending I didn't care, I felt the sting. Every corner of the house felt incomplete. Every smile felt forced. And I kept glancing at the door, hoping, even though I knew they weren't coming. By evening everyone left. I sat on my new couch in my new home, and cried like the little girl who always came second. 3 days later, my life changed in a direction I never imagined. The largest home design network in the US was running a nationwide competition called America's Next Dream Home Makeover. One of my co-workers secretly submitted photos of my new home, because I had renovated nearly everything myself. And the next morning I received a call that almost made me drop my phone. "Hi, Lily. We're excited to inform you that you are one of the top 5 finalists." Froze. Finalist? Me? Yes. We'd love to feature your home and your story on national television. National television. Me. My home. My story. That wire inside me, the one that snapped the night my parents chose groceries over me, was suddenly replaced with electricity. Spark. A new beginning. The following week, the entire production team arrived at my home. Cameras, lighting, hosts, producers. My quiet house turned into a buzzing set. The host, a warm woman named Jenna, walked around in awe. "You renovated all this alone?" she asked. He nodded. Her eyes widened. "That's incredible. Do your parents know? Are they coming for the filming?" Parents are usually a big part of these episodes. I swallowed. They had something more important to do. The crew exchanged glances. Jenna touched my arm gently. "Don't worry. Your work will speak for itself." For the first time ever, someone was proud of me. I didn't need my parents, or so I told myself. A month later, the episode aired nationwide. Millions of people watched. But the part that exploded online, the part that got replayed, shared, and clipped everywhere, was the moment Jenna asked, "What inspired you to renovate this home alone?" And I answered honestly, "I invited my parents to my housewarming. They didn't come. They chose to buy groceries for my sister instead." I realized then, I needed to build a life where I celebrated myself, because they never would. The room had gone silent that day, and America felt that silence. The clip blew up instantly. Comments flooded in. "Parents like that don't deserve her. Groceries. Seriously. Girl, you're amazing, keep shining. She's the daughter they should be proud of." Within 48 hours, it became one of the network's most watched segments ever. 10 minutes after the episode aired, my phone exploded with calls. Even Emma. I ignored all of them. Finally, Emma texted, "Why would you humiliate our family on TV?" Our family. As if I ever truly belonged to it. Mom left a voicemail crying. Dad sounded angry. They weren't upset about what they did. They were upset that the world knew what they did. I didn't respond. Not for days. Not when they called. Not when they emailed. Not when Emma sent paragraphs saying I ruined her reputation. Ruined her reputation. She ruined my entire childhood. Then my parents finally showed up at my home uninvited. I stepped outside, arms crossed. Mom looked devastated. Dad looked embarrassed. Emma looked furious. "Lily," Mom began, "you didn't have to say all that on TV. Did I lie?" I asked calmly. She blinked rapidly. "That's not the point." "It is exactly the point." Dad spoke next. "We raised you. You owe us respect." I laughed, a sound sharper than I expected. "You raised me to always come second. To shrink. To accept crumbs of attention while Emma got everything." Emma snapped. "You're exaggerating." I stared at her. "The day of my housewarming," I said softly. "I waited for you. I looked at the door 100 times. You chose weekly groceries over me." Mom's eyes filled with guilt. "That was a mistake." "No," I replied. "It was a pattern." They stood silently. "So," Dad said stiffly, "what now? Will you ever forgive us?" I shook my head. "I don't need revenge. I don't need apologies. Just need peace. And peace doesn't include people who only show up after the cameras do." Then I closed the door. Slowly. Firmly. Finally. They learned the hard way that ignoring me had consequences. Not because I forced revenge. Not because I exposed them out of anger. But because the truth has a strange way of shining. Brighter than favoritism. Brighter than excuses. brighter than empty apologies. My home became a symbol of independence. My episode remained one of the network's highest rated. I started receiving brand partnerships. I launched a small renovation blog that grew rapidly. And my parents, they still live near Emma, still favor her. But now when they see me on TV, when neighbors compliment them about me, when strangers say, "Your daughter is the one with the amazing story," they realize something. They ignored the daughter who became someone worth noticing. But now, I no longer need them to notice. Sometimes life gives you a moment that defines everything. The moment my parents chose groceries over my biggest milestone, that was it for me. But walking away didn't break me, built me. You can outgrow the people who never watered your roots. You can succeed quietly or loudly. And sometimes the best revenge isn't punishment. It's becoming the version of yourself they never believed you could be.